Today we're going to take a look at standard form of ellipses and hyperbolas. Alright, so we are going to write this equation. X squared plus 4y squared plus 6x minus 8y plus 9. We are going to write this in standard form. So we're going to do two steps in one. First we're going to group our variables, and we're going to move this constant to the other side. So we're going to have x squared plus, not 4, let's erase that, plus 6x. So now our x's are together, plus 4y squared minus 8y equals negative 9. Our next step is going to be to complete the square for the x's and the y's. So we're going to have x squared plus 6x, and in order to complete the square we've got to add b over 2 squared. So that's supposed to be a 6. 6 over 2 squared is 3 squared, which is 9. So we've completed the square for the x's. We're going to do the same for the y's. We need to factor out that 4. I'm sorry, I'm dealing with a new pen and it's terrible. So y squared minus 2y. And again, we'll have to complete the square here. So that's b over 2 squared. So it's negative 2 over 2 squared, which will be 1. Equals, we'll have negative 9. Now we added the 9 here, so we should add the 9 here. And then here we added a 1, but it's times this 4. It's multiplied by this 4. So on the other side we also have to add 4. So now looking back on the left, we've got x squared plus 6x plus 9. That can be factored as x plus 3 squared, 4 times, this can be expressed as y minus 1 squared. Our 9's cancel and we're left with 4. We are almost done. Our last step is to have 1, the number 1, on the right side here. So we're going to divide every term by 4. And our equation in standard form is x plus 3 squared over 4 plus, this cancels, y minus 1 squared over 1 equals 1. All right, let's do another one. This is going to be 4 x squared minus 3y squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. Alright, so I'm going to say I already know this is the equation of a hyperbola because y squared, the coefficient, is negative. So if one of the coefficients for either x squared or y squared is negative, we know we've got a hyperbola instead of an ellipse. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to group the variables. So I'll have 4x squared plus 8x. I only have a 3y squared, and the constant goes to the other side. We'll complete the square here for the x's. I'm going to take out the 4. If we complete the square, we'd be adding 1 here. Now 3y squared, there's no other y term, so we're going to leave that guy alone. Got negative 16 here, but we added a 1 times 4, so we've got to add a 4 to the right side. So back to the left, 4. This is x plus 1 squared minus 3y squared equals negative 12. Just like with the ellipse, we'd like a 1 here. So we're going to divide everybody by negative 12. Well, I'm getting sloppy again, negative 12. So this will now be negative x plus 1 squared over 3 plus y squared over 4 equals 1, and we're almost done. We usually don't write the negative term first. So we're going to switch these around and say y squared over 4 minus x plus 1 squared over 3 is equal to 1. And here is our summary. What we're going to do is, well, I did steps 1 and 2 together. You move the constant to the other side. We want the constant away from the variables. We group the variables by the x's and y's. We complete the square, being sure that whatever we add to one side of the equation, we add to the other side. We divide by the constant so that we're left with a constant of 1. And if you're dealing with a hyperbola, make sure that you put your positive term first.